for these ones, I really want to know how you engage them. Do you give them contract? Or how do you engage them?
Governor?
Thank you, Chair. The road marshals and CHPs are not employees. They're actually volunteers who are paid a stipend to do a noble job. And therefore, a road marshal does not work full-time for the county in 8 to 5. That is why I've said they allocated a section of the road, which is kilometers in their village, which they're responsible and they're answerable to the supervisor, and the chain of supervision runs all the way to the CEC of roads. And therefore, a road marshal may wake up in the morning and work for about 2 hours in clearing the road, and later they go their duties. Otherwise, the 3,000 we pay them as a stipend is nowhere near minimum wage that is stipulated in the law. That is how we engage them.
It's good to understand that, but I really want to know. Of course, CHVs, there is a policy that guides that. But these road marshals, even if they are paid, stipend of 3,000, yeah, you are paying taxpayers' money, and it's good to understand how you engage them, either governed by law or policy that you have passed at the board level. So I really want to know how you engage them.
Yeah, can I answer that, Chair?
Because yes, if they wake up every morning, do they wake up every morning and go and do that work? Or do you hire them after they are finished what they are doing, you relieve them and hire others? So if they are actually employed throughout the year, or maybe for the period that you've been in the office, then those are employees.
Chair, let me refer Senator to the law that was passed in the National Assembly on CHPs. It is exactly the same model, where we have people volunteering and they are paid stipend, because it is based on the measurement of the work they do. They have minimum how much they can do. That is why I've said that every road marshal is allocated section of the road in kilometers. But just to give you comfort, Senator Isiolo, there was public participation. The law was passed in the county assembly. We have a regulation. It is one of the county laws. And that is why it is backed up by all the systems, including the control of budget. Otherwise, we would never get any money to pay them if it was not in law.
Can we have evidence of the same that you have approval?
Yes, we have a Road Marshals Act, which can be provided within the time the chair allows.
Okay, I'll give direction on that. Senator Mofaya.
Thank you, Chair. I want to agree that we have the road marshals in Tharaka-Nithi, and this is one of the best ways maybe of creating employment for our youth. But Chair, I would want to know from the governor, because I've been all over Tharaka-Nithi for the last few weeks or so. But Governor, we are missing terribly on supervision and oversight. These people are not well supervised, and the ground is not feeling their impact at all. So I don't know whether you have any meaningful mechanisms in place to make sure that the assignment that these people undertake is fully implemented, especially on those roads. Because the idea is very noble, because we have absorbed a lot of youth into some employment of some sort here and there. But of course, the ground is not feeding them as such now. So, Governor, have you put any mechanism to measure the effectiveness of this exercise? Because you could be having a very novel idea which does not maybe translate into what people want on the ground. So could you tell this committee whether there is any meaningful, impactful arrangement that you have put in place to make sure that these road marshals translate your ideas into real actions that people want?
I think that's the most important question out of this. Proceed, Governor.
Chair, the impact by the road marshals physically may be their expectations, but they have cut out jobs on what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to be on the road all the time. If the section of the road that you've been allocated, you've done the work that you're supposed to do manually, you don't have to be seen there all the time in the uniform. And I would like to refer our senator to the time when we had just the rains that were mistaken for El Nino, when we had the tree that fell across the hospital at Marimanti, which would have made it impossible for you to access Nairobi, Senator. You didn't find it the following day because it was cleared in the morning by road marshals. When we had the blocking of the Meru-Embu highway because of riots that were there that you remember very well, all the trees that were fell on the road, without the road marshals, that road, even Senator Fatuma Ndula would not have gotten to Nairobi on that day because the road was cleared within 2 hours, something that sometimes took 2 days to clear the road when such kind of a thing happens. So sometimes it is not their visibility that really matters, is what they do in terms of response to cater for emergencies and especially cut off of roads during rains, including even culverts and bridges. Thank you.
Senator Omtata, as we close, because it's a matter of concern.
Yes, again from the answer that His Excellency has given, do you provide these people with the equipment for the work they do, including personal protection equipment? And then where in the budget is that costed, that equipping of these people?
Before you proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Chair, I'm a bit lost by the answer, because if I understood Senator Gataya correctly, he asked what sort of reporting mechanism there is that a person who's not in the position of the governor, for instance, to know about those incidents that he has relate to the committee. How would I, as senator, for instance, looking into the affairs of these marshals, where can I go to see that this is the reporting mechanism of, yes, today they did this, tomorrow they did this, last week they were here? Where is that mechanism and who do they report to? I think that's what the senator was asking.
True, Senator Sifuna, and the governor gave us isolated instances. It's true what the governor has said, there's a tree that fell, of course, and all these things, and the calabash and so forth. But I'm very sure the intention of the governor was to make sure that the locals downstream, especially those who are in some parts of Ekangombe, some parts of Tharaka, and in other parts in Mara and all these things, especially these weather roads, they are always washed out, maybe during torrential rains here and there. So if you were to go and interrogate Wanjiku in the villages, would that lady say that this road was impassable? We have some young people here who have been able to dig trenches here and there and all these things. So because governor, we didn't want value for money. The idea is very brilliant. You might not be having, you as a person, and maybe as a governor, what is this mechanism that you have put in place to make sure that those people are seen working on the ground? And 800 people, governor, is not a small number. It's something that is supposed to be seen really working for the people.
How many wards do you have in Tharaka-Nithi?
15 wards.
15 wards.
Yeah.
So that's an average of
around 200, is it? 15, that's around...
divide by 800?
800, how much is that?
160 marshals per ward. And I was just looking at the number of kilometers of roads you have in Tharaka-Nithi. It's about 1,600. So that could be a marshal for every 2 kilometers. Now, if those guys decided to be goons, they can be very effective ones because every inch of the county is covered. Actually, Governor, we are convinced here that these people might be having other miscellaneous responsibilities, which include shutting down political opponents. So, how do you demonstrate value for money? For 33 million, They are 800, they're being paid 3,500. So in a year, you're spending 33 million on them. How is the value for money demonstrable? And I think Senator Mtata had also asked something about how you budget or account for that expenditure.
That's an army. That's an army. 800 people is not, that's a military.
Yeah, if they decide to run you out of a county, you will not have a space. And really, members, this matter, Senator Sifuna, in Nairobi, I'm told there are some green army.
Yeah, green army.
There's a green army.
Yes.
We had the president the other day talk of launching, I don't know, climate works, something like that. We are now shifting from spurring economic growth so that our young people can be part of it, can be participants, to handouts. We are becoming a welfare state where we'd rather get 800 youth and give them stipends of 3,500 rather than working on the productivity, the base that ensures that we've got a bigger cake for all of us. And I think that as a Senate and as Parliament, we need to come up with a policy. Because in Nairobi, they'll be called Climate Green Army. In Tharaka, they'll be called Road Marshals. In Isiolo, I think they're just goons, but they're in the payroll. So how should this be a matter that is just...
Migori, they are called what was it?
No, in Migori, they are called Sangwenya.
Sangwenya, yes.
In Kisumu, they are called something else.
Lude.
Youth. And we are, what is resulting is that we are breeding criminal gangs, criminal enterprises, people who wake up morning to evening, they just think about politics, they just think about the political leaders. Their minds are so indoctrinated that they cannot go out to the farms. But we are not saying that is what Tharaka Nithi is doing. Your senator has asked, and he has said that in your case, it's a good idea. What is the monitoring and evaluation mechanism?
Chair, I was about to be very saddened by the assumption of this Senate that we have goons in the name of road marshals. It's one of the most and the best and a very noble idea that has been born in Kenya. It has actually found its way to Marifa Center for the Council of Governors. And I'm proud to say that one of the persons who passed that bill is seated in this committee. It is Senator Gataya, when he was the MCA in Tharaka Nithi County. And the kind of work they did on that road marshal's idea left no room for political maneuver. For one, those road marshals are not identified by the county. They are identified by the wananchi in the village. They sit down and say, this is a man and this is a woman who we can release to go and be a part of the road marshals program in Tharaka Nithi. And that means they cannot be having a political allegiance to the governor or any leader by that particular time, because it's done by wananchi. Secondly, Chair, I think there was a problem with your calculation. There are only 53 road marshals per ward. If you were to go by the number of 800 divided by 50, it's only 53. So it does not look like an army as we are saying. And the supervision of the road marshals is domiciled in the Ministry of, or in the Department of Roads and Public Works. It has a very good supervision system that starts with the road marshal themselves, then they have the lead road marshals, then we have the ward administrators, sub-county administrators, and eventually it's with the CC himself. And they have accountability to what they do. The 3,500, Chair, the 500 has been for paying, we normally pay for their NHIF, which is say 500 times 12 is 6,000. That is basically what you require to get your cover, which is usually a way of making sure they are protected because of work